Hi everybody, Kim from Oz here, and thanks for watching my video. Now, this video is to answer some questions that people have contacted me, emailed me, or sent messages, or just general questions through the Facebook groups and also just on my YouTube channel. So this is a question and answer session. I'm only going to make it 10 questions and I'll try and be as thorough as I can. So let's get into it. First question is, why did you stop using the A5 size Filofax? So in front of me, this is my daily use planner. It's a pocket Filofax Malden in ochre, and I don't use it as a wallet, but it's just very, very small, compact. I've got Moleskine notebooks that have got holes punched in them, and everything that I do is there. The reason I love the A5, so don't get me wrong, I regretted having to leave the A5, but what my needs were in my daily need was something that I could just hold, carry, easy. It wasn't going to take up a lot of room, it wasn't getting too heavy, and this ended up being what worked for me. The Moleskine leather also is I'm a very tactile person, I guess, and it just was part of the whole package. The other thing that I do is that when I'm very busy, and this is the beauty of the flexibility of the Moleskine, is that I can put my phone into the back pocket, which is no surprise for most people. We've seen that on videos before, and the clip clips up really well, and that is still quite compact for me. So over a couple of years developing and really working out what I needed, this works for me. So I love the A5s, I love the size, but I have been able to adapt how I write and what I need and streamline things down, and in my daily carry this seems to be just ideal for me. So I'll just take the phone out. So thanks for that question. Next question. What is your ultimate Filofax? Well, I don't think I have an ultimate Filofax anymore. I used to think it was the Filofax Balmoral A5, which I did eventually get two of, and they were a fantastic binder, very well made. I guess the stiffness and also the large weight and the size of it was a problem for me. I also admire the Van der Spek and the Gillio range as well, especially the Van der Spek, in that you can design your own things. So my ultimate Filofax, if it was a Filofax, would be something fairly rugged looking with a soft leather, very similar to the Malden. It does have to have that long pocket because I use that quite a bit. Somewhere to put my phone, something that isn't too big. The Van der Spek has got the size just a little bit larger than the pocket, which I think would probably be a good size, and that's an A6 page, although it doesn't seem to, the inserts in the paper is the problem there. So if there was an A6 size soft Filofax, that would be my ultimate one. All right, number 3. How many Filofaxes do you own? Well, I guess like a lot of people who enjoy using these Filofaxes, it changes. You buy things, you sell them, you use things, you keep some that you want to keep, and so on. So at the moment, my confession is I have about 8. Most of them are either Maldens or large A5 zip ones. I actually have a A5 zip Finsbury, which I quite like, and also a couple of the earlier A5s, which I had switched into this new pocket Malden, so I still kept those. And I also have a small mini, which I use as a wallet, a Cavendish, and that's just ideal. Actually, I've got it right here, you can see. This is my wallet. It's a mini Cavendish with the pocket, and I've got a Filofax pen there. So at the moment it's 8. It does, as I said, it does fluctuate depending on what I'm looking at. Now, the reason I do have a lot is, I guess you can't try and know what's right for you until you get it in your hands and you feel it and you see what it's like. So unfortunately, there's not a lot of venues that sell Filofaxes for me to see them, so you have to take that plunge and buy them. So that's the reason. Question 4. What pens do you use? Well, at the moment, and what I'm really happy with is my Coletto, and I tended to work out, and again in this streamlining process, I wanted to just know what pens do I really use, and I had red and blue and a whole range of different things. So now I'm down to a black and pencil. So there's 3 cartridges in here, 2 black, 1 that I use, 1 for a spare because I don't want to run out, and then a pencil. I have an eraser insert, but I hardly used it. The red, hardly used it. And basically that is my need. So and I really am sticking with this for over 12 months now, but it's the high-tech, let's do it that way, high-tech C Coletto pen. Get these very cheaply off eBay, and also there's a supplier of the inserts in my town that I live in. So that's the one I use. It's a 0.38 nib, which the fine tip is better for me, and that's the pen I use. Question 5. What is one thing about Filofaxes that you would change? Ooh, that's a hard one. One thing, I guess it would need to be the inflexibility of each model. Now, a couple of years ago, no one knew what a Vanderspec was, and so you actually only purchased what Filofax offered. Now, with this ability to design and custom make your own binder, I would find that the Filofax range is designed for general use, but not everything I use in my binder is what I use. For instance, I don't use these pockets very much. A couple little pieces of paper, but they're really not really usable. So, and the zip in the small size, this gets in the way quite a bit, and it's a bit lumpy, and I don't use this pocket at all. So I guess what I would change about Filofax would be perhaps take a leaf out of Vanderspec book and give the customers the ability to design, even if it was just a few changes, maybe a bigger ring size, perhaps a different pen loop or 2 pen loops, just something small to start with, but I think that is the way to go. So that's my answer. Question 6. Where do you come up with all these ideas for Filofaxes? Well, I guess this is in my hand almost all day. It carries with me, and I guess my love for these binders and the utility that it creates for my daily life, I'm always coming up with ways of what can I improve. I guess it's a creative process. A lot of people spend a long time decorating. I'm not really too into that, but what it is it does, I guess, help you to think creatively. So I do spend a lot of time thinking about how to improve, what works for me, and I guess the other thing is wanting to share it as well, hence the videos. So can't really say exactly where all the ideas come from. I try to be original. I do borrow some ideas or modify them as well, and I think that's the beauty of the Filofax community. You can just learn so much and adapt things just for your own needs. Question 7. Are you really from Australia? Yes, I am. I am born and bred in Australia, and if you hadn't worked out by the accent, yes, I am from Australia. Even though Oz, O-Z, isn't the way we spell Oz in Australia, well, we do in a way, but it's a couple of people have thought it was a sort of a link to the Wizard of Oz. Okay, I'll accept that, but in Australia we call ourselves Aussies, and so that's where Kent from Oz came from, and Oz, O-Z, is a little bit easier to read, I guess. So yes, I live in Australia. I live on the east coast, in the subtropics, not far from the Great Barrier Reef, and yeah, so I live in Australia. Question 8. Who do you watch on YouTube? Well, I don't know if I should answer that exactly, because I do watch a broad range of videos. I'll relate it just to Filofaxes. But I guess my top 3 would be Joshua Laporte, and really only because I just enjoyed listening to Joshua's thought process, and he sits in his videos, and he just basically just shares what he's thinking in his journey. And I can relate to a lot of what he says, especially in trying to find things that just really suit him. So Josh Laporte. I guess the other one would be Adam's Philo, and only because Adam's a very creative guy, and he's also too takes his planners seriously and always is trying new things and wanting to look for new things. So Adam's Philo is probably my second one, which I keep up to date with. And I think My Purpley Life, yes, I do like My Purpley Life. That especially too, it's a very user-friendly set of YouTube videos, and I just find that I also like looking at creative things. But apart from those three, I look at a lot of different ones, and especially on how to use a planner to be more effective. So that's just the top three of mine. Question 9. Why don't we see your face? Well, I guess it's a matter of the camera I use is perched on the desk that I'm using, so it's a bit hard to show you how I video these with the camera that I'm using, but it's probably easier just to show my hands, and also to just keep the camera in one place, which helps me concentrate on what I'm wanting to share with you. So you can see my face in certain places on the Filofaxes websites and everything, so I'm not sort of this Phantom of the Opera person either, but yeah, that's basically it. And I feel more comfortable that I can just concentrate on the desktop with what I'm talking about rather than have myself videoed. Why distract the viewers from the topic that I'm talking about? I hope that's a good answer. And question number 10. Would you ever switch to a Gillio, a Midori, or some other system? I guess the answer is it would all depend on my needs and what I really need in a planner and an organizer. At the moment, what I'm using is the best for me, but I'm always open to looking around. And like most of us, some people have switched and are now in notebooks, Midori and Fodori type setups and bullet journaling. And I guess it really does come down to what is going to be more complementary to my lifestyle and my needs, my organizing, and just what I want to use. So at the moment, the Pocket Malden Ochre does work enough, and not perfect system, but I guess if I do find another one that just ticks more boxes, then I guess I will move into that, as long as it is an improvement. I do love the Filofax brand and the quality and the make of it, so I'm not easily looking for other alternatives now, but like all of us, I think we just keep an eye open, see what other people have done, and perhaps at a later date, if things change, maybe I'll need to have to move to another system. But at the moment, what I've got works for me. All right, well, that's the end of our questions for this video. It's a bit longer than I thought, so my apologies. I'll try and put another video up on more questions. I do have plenty more. These were just the first 10 that I sort of really felt like I needed to address. If you do have questions, just place them into the comment boxes below, or contact me on Facebook, and we'll see what we can come up with. So once again, thanks for watching, and this is Kent Voss saying bye for now.